What's going on, everyone? This is Anthony Sharp with Sharp Moves, and today I want to talk about something that's happening just northeast of San Antonio in Cibolo, Texas. This could quietly reshape part of our real estate landscape. And when I first heard about Project Theo, a proposed distribution center backed by a Fortune 500 company, I knew this wasn't just another warehouse deal. This could be a game changer for local housing demand and for jobs in neighborhoods that might benefit long term. And if you're new to this channel, kindly hit the subscribe button. I share real estate news, market insights every single week. So what is Project Theo and why is it big? Project Theo is a proposed distribution center spanning 126 acres in Cibolo on Santa Clara Road. And according to city departments, this isn't a small operation. The company plans to invest at least $450 million and employ a minimum of 425 workers full-time. And these aren't low-paying jobs. These are expected to pay around or above the median salary in San Antonio area. On the city side, Cibolo has approved an incentive package, about $32.5 million, which includes a 75% property tax abatement for the first 10 years, followed by a 50% rebate for 5 more years. That's a huge incentive, signaling that Cibolo's leadership believes in Theo's long-term value. So why does it matter for real estate? Well, a big, well-paying employer can anchor housing demand. People working at Project Theo may choose to move nearby rather than commute long distances. And this could absolutely support upward pressure on home prices, especially in Cibolo and surrounding communities. For buyers, that means a potential opportunity to get in early, before the full ripple demand hits nearby neighborhoods. Point 2, the supplier and infrastructure ripple effect. When you get a project of this scale, it's not just about the jobs inside the facility. A distribution center often brings supplier networks, logistic companies, construction subcontractors, and maintenance firms, all who need people. These workers may choose to live nearby. Additionally, infrastructure improvements are likely. To support a site that large, Cibolo and Guadalupe County may invest more into the roads, utilities, and local services. That kind of build-out can be a big boost for real estate development, subdivisions, new housing communities, or even infill projects could become more valuable. And that means for a home buyer or investor, there's potential upside not only from the direct employee housing, but from the wider economic ecosystem. Where you buy may benefit from more than just the center. Other ancillary businesses could catalyze nearby growth. If you pick a neighborhood wisely, you might ride that infrastructure wave. Point number 3, property tax incentives and long-term value. The incentive deal itself is massive. Cibolo is offering up to 75% property tax abatement in the first decade, and then 50% for another 5 years on maintenance and operation rates. That's a very favorable deal for the company, but what's in it for local homeowners? If this project succeeds, property values in Cibolo are likely to increase. More jobs equal more demand, which often leads to home price appreciation. As the area becomes more economically vibrant, the tax base could grow and the value of existing homes may go up. However, and this is very important for first-time homebuyers or long-term investors, you need to be realistic about your timeline. Incentives tend to accelerate early-stage development, but appreciation may take years to land. So in your planning, factor in a 5 to 10 year horizon, not just the next 2 to 3 years. And this is how you get the full benefit of this kind of economic anchor. And if you're getting value from this breakdown, especially if you're thinking about buying somewhere around Cibolo, share the love, hit the subscribe button, and drop a comment below. And maybe you want me to run the numbers for your preferred zip codes, or check out how close certain neighborhoods are to Project Theo's site. I'd love to help you make an informed decision. Point number 4, job creation and its impact on housing demand. The plan calls for 425 full-time equivalent jobs, which is very significant for that part of Guadalupe County, the Northeast Corridor. Many of these jobs will likely go to local residents, but others may attract people from San Antonio or nearby suburbs. As more people move in for work, the demand for housing will increase, and that demand could show up in several ways. New single-family subdivisions, apartments close to Cibolo, or even mixed-use developments that cater to distribution centers' workers. And don't forget, not all workers will live in Cibolo. Some of them may choose more affordable nearby areas, or areas with better schools and commute trade-offs. And that means the ripple effect on housing could stretch beyond just Cibolo, offering opportunities for buyers or investors in surrounding communities as well. Point 5, risk and what could go wrong. Now, it's not all upside. Smart buyers always consider the risk. First, there's the risk that Project Theo might not deliver everything promised. Incentives are approved, but the actual company is still unnamed, and the execution can always go sideways. Second, with so much industrial and commercial activity, you could see increased traffic noise, or even a strain on local infrastructure. For people buying close to the site, you'll want to weigh those lifestyle impacts very carefully. And also, speculative timing is a risk. Some of the demand may take years to fully materialize. If you buy now, you might be paying for that future promise So your patience and financial runaway will matter. And finally, tax incentives are double-edged. While they may encourage growth, that also means that local governments are betting big on this payoff. If things don't go as planned, that could have budget consequences and potentially affect future property taxes or public services. As a buyer, you've got to be clear-eyed about the risks. So how to make this work for you? So what's your playbook if you want to lean into this opportunity? Map out the job impact zones, identify neighborhoods within a reasonable commute of the proposed distribution center, talk to a local developer or a real estate agent like myself, and ask who's building subdivisions and which builders are marketing to people who work in Cibolo or nearby. Model different scenarios. Estimate property value growth based on job creation, infrastructure, and housing demand, not just today's comps. Be prepared to hold. This isn't just a typical flip play. So to wrap it up, Project Theo could be one of the biggest economic drivers in Cibolo, with 425 plus new jobs and a 450 million commitment. That means potential long-term housing demand, infrastructure growth, and value creation. But there are risks: timing, traffic, industrial impacts, and incentive execution. The smart move: use a long-term strategy, run real scenarios, and work with someone who understands these large-scale development plays. If you don't want to miss more updates like this, where I unpack how infrastructure, jobs, and incentives are reshaping San Antonio's housing market, kindly hit that subscribe button. Welcome to San Antonio. Let's make your move a sharp one. And this is Anthony Sharp with Sharp Moves.